Hello, my name is Yatin Yu, or you can simply call me Tiffany. I'm a PhD student at the English department, the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. And here you can find my email address and also my Twitter account. If you find my presentation interesting, or if you have something to share, please feel free to contact me. And um, today I'm going to present the representations of leftover women in Chinese English language news media, a key keyword analysis of the thematic concepts. So if you're confused by this long topic, don't worry, I will try to explain it. So what is Chinese English language news media? Chinese English language news are written by Chinese journalists, and they are not translation from Chinese media. And what is a key keyword analysis? A key keyword analysis is a corpus linguistic approach, which I will introduce in a methodological section. And leftover women. So what is leftover women? Leftover women is a term coined by the All China Women's Federation in the media in 2007, and it was officially listed as one of the neologisms by the Ministry of Education of the PRC. The definition is single females who are older than 27. I guess most of us here are older than 27. So interestingly, after a decade, China Women's News, which is a national Chinese newspaper run by the China Women's Federation, and they publish a news article here. They try to discourage the use of some sexist terms, such as leftover. And the reason why they try to discourage and ban the terms they once coined is unknown. But I guess it's because the term leftover women has attracted a lot of criticism from international and also domestic scholars. And so this justifies the period of my corpus is between 2007 and 2017. So for the research niche, there are three. The first one is a topical niche. So previous studies on the topic of leftover women have examined this concept in different fields such as sociology, history, and gender studies. And some of them have examined the Chinese language media with methods, mostly content analysis. And their findings pinpoint that the traditional patriarchal discourse prevails in the Chinese language media. So different from the previous studies, my study examines the English language news media in China, which claim to be more liberal. So I'm interested in whether the traditional patriarchal discourse is perpetuated or contested in the Chinese English language news media. And also, I'm using a corpus linguistic method which introduces a novel way of approaching the concept of leftover women and offers new insights into the topic. And the second niche is methodological. So recent years have been witnessing the increasing use of corpus linguistic approaches in media and gender studies. However, total attention has been given to the application of key keyword analysis, which can help to reveal the most distinctive lexical features pertaining to dominant themes across multiple texts in the media. And so my study highlights the usefulness of employing corpus techniques, specifically key keyword analysis, to examine overarching themes in general representations. And the third niche is geographical. So previous studies on gender representation mainly examine Western women and men from Western perspectives. And there are a few studies on representation of Chinese women and men found in the international journals and books. So my studies will fill this niche by connecting the textual analysis with the wider discursive and social cultural context in China. As we know, gender intersects with other social factors such as race, ethnicity, and so on. And so I have two research questions. Number one, what are the key keywords that contribute to the dominant thematic concepts related to leftover reading in the Chinese English language news media? And number two, what are the ideological implications of the key thematic concepts in the Chinese English language news media in relation to the wider social context? For the data, I have built a specialized focus on media representation of leftover women and MRLWC in short. So here are the details of the data. I collect the data from China Daily, Shanghai Daily, Global Times, Shenzhen Daily. And the number of news articles are 303. And here is the number of words. And the total incidences of leftover women appear in the news is 329. And because I'm going to conduct a keyword analysis, so I need a reference corpus of general news, which is much larger than my specialized focus of the leftover women. And as you can see, they are also collected from the same sources. And the number of news articles is 2,800, which is nearly 10 times larger than my specialized focus. The number of words is here. And then the number of news articles is 2,800. And yes, it is 10 times larger than my specialized focus. And so for the methodology, okay, I use WordSmith 6, which is a very well-known corpus linguistic tool. And as there is little agreement on the ideal kind of point for generating a key keyword list, so I use the default setting recommended by Scott. And first, I need to obtain a batch of keyword lists by comparing the target corpus against the reference corpus. And after that, I compile a database for generating key keywords. And then, after generating the list of key keywords, I need to interpret them with collocation and concordance analysis. So collocation, that means words that tend to co-occur with the key words. And then concordance analysis will show the context where the words appear in. And so, with the interpretation, I grouped the key keywords into different thematic categories based on their similar meanings and functions in the text. It is worth noting that I only examine the content words, and the function words were discarded because content words are the main carriers of information, and they contribute to the semantic construction and communication. And so, here are the key findings. So, as you can see in this table, they are the key keywords. And I try to group them into 3 key thematic categories. As you can see, the first category is social actors and attributes, and it has 42 items. And here are the key keywords. For example, like women and men. Obviously, they are social actors. Leftover, married are examples of attributes. And as you can see, after each word, there is a bracket. For example, women, 1,205. So this shows the incidences, the total incidences, the total occurrence of this word in the whole corpus. And then the second number, 97, it shows the number of articles that this word has appeared in. So these key keywords are ranked by the frequencies of their appearance in the articles. And then the second category is dating activities and relationships, and it has 19 items. For example, marriage, marry, matchmaking, and dating. And the third category is other social matters. So there are 5 items, such as gender, sex, book, school, village. And so, with the 3 key thematic categories, I examine all these keywords in context. And then later, it helped me to interpret the 5 key themes about leftover women. So what are the key themes about leftover women in the corpus? Number 1, parental and social pressure for women. And so, as you know, in China, family and friends, they have a lot of influence on individual people's lives. And so if someone who is not married by a certain age, then there would be enormous pressure coming from parents, schools, and society. And the second theme is traditional and modern gender roles. So as we know, the traditional gender roles for women are being a mother and a wife in the private domain. whereas the modern gender roles encourage women to pursue their career in the public domain. And heteronormative practice, that means heterosexual relationships are regarded as the social norms. And so in the news, you hardly see any words or discussion about homosexual relationships. So as you can see in the previous slides, all the keywords here in the second categories about dating and relationships are about heterosexual relationships. And then the fourth theme is resistance to marriage. And so the news also show women's resistance to marriage. Some of them even reject marriage altogether. They would prefer single lives. And then other social matters involve China's domestic crisis. As you know, nowadays in China, there are way more men than women. So there is a crisis of gender imbalance in China. And also the news also shows advocacy of gender equality. You know, leftover women phenomenon is a phenomenon of gender inequality. And so people advocate to respect single women. And lack of sex education in school. So in the news, it shows that lack of education is claimed to be one of the reasons that lead to the leftover phenomenon. And they encourage schools to introduce sex education. And the last one is newly launched books about leftover women. So over the past decade, there are many academic and also trade books about leftover women. So here is some key discussion, and based on the analysis, two salient ideological implications emerge. One is patriarchy, and the other is egalitarian. As you can see here, patriarchy is coded in red color, egalitarian is coded in green color. And same are these key findings. So as you can see, they are color coded. So if they are red colors, that means they show the ideology of patriarchy. If they are green color, then they show the emancipation ideology. And so, as we could see, there are two contested ideologies here, patriarchy and egalitarianism. And so potentially the contested ideologies are a marketing strategy of the press to present a conflict between liberal aspirations and familial traditions that modern Chinese women experience, so as to resonate with their target readers, who are either international English speakers or educated Chinese citizens. And the two contested ideologies also have reflected the modern traditional mosaic of contemporary Chinese society. where tradition and modernity converge. So implications for my studies, there are two. One is methodologically. This study has highlighted the usefulness of employing corpus linguistic techniques, specifically a key keyword analysis to investigate dominant themes. And the second one is practical. This study contributes to the discussion of the topic of leftover women, one of the latest gender issues in China, in the hope of bringing the ideologies to light and raising awareness of gender equality. And for the imitation of this study has only examined the overarching thematic concepts related to leftover women in a large amount of news data with a corpus linguistic approach. However, corpus linguistic approach alone is not enough. We also need to use the critical approach to identify the context, to analyze the context in more details. And so further research could consider investigating a smaller number of texts in full with the critical approach and comparing them with the current study. And here are some selected references. And I welcome your question, comment, and suggestion. Please write them on the website. And if you find my presentation interesting and you are interested in further collaboration with me, or if you have any questions, you are welcome to contact me via email or Twitter. So I hope to learn from you more and enjoy your conference.